Hey, it's Shannon again with ShannonFralish.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. I live in the San Diego, California area. So I hope you'll join me for another, Curvy Celebrations card class to go. It's featuring the Quite Curvy Variety Bundle, which are these two stamp sets. This die, curvy die set that goes with the Quite Curvy bundle. And then for a limited time until December 31st, 2020, it comes as a bundle with this Curvy Christmas stamp set and DSP. All right, so after that, this Christmas part will no longer be available, and it will just be the Quite Curvy products. So for now, let's enjoy using all of these fun curvy products, and we're going to make this really cute birthday card. A white card base and the envelope, right? So that gets you started. The card is going to be horizontal or landscape, and the fold is on the top. These are, this is the designer series paper from the packet in your bundle that we're going to use. It's sort of this, I don't know, it's kind of a check, but it's kind of hand-drawn, so it's not perfect. It's kind of fun and a little bit wavy. You will need two 1-inch by 6-inch strips, and that's just taking one piece of paper and trimming off two 1-inch strips. It is longer than you need, but we'll easily cut those off. So just two 1-inch strips of this DSP you will need, and then some additional Whisper White cardstock to do the stamping, coloring, and die cutting of these pieces right here. So these are from the Quite Curvy stamp set. They're leafy vines. I'm coloring them some greens right here. And then if you watched one of our earlier videos, I did mention that we would be using this floral garland, and so it will use that fourth garland that we made from the other card. Otherwise, if you're watching it without belonging to the card class to go, you'll just need two leafy vines and one floral vine. Also, there will be one of the bow, pretty bow stamped images, and that's from the Curvy Christmas stamp set. And then I put one cute little bird there, and that is from the Quite Curvy set. And you have 3 bird choices in this set, and I chose this bird. Doesn't matter. Maybe you want yours on that side. You go for it. But I just included a bird because I thought they were really sweet looking. The sentiment that we're using is wishing you the happiest of birthdays. And the ink colors I chose, this is Highland Heather. I used the Stampin' Blends, and I believe this is the Purple Posy color, but I thought it coordinated well with this Highland Heather ink. And then I used Petal Pink for the flowers a little bit, and then the Jade and the Light Pool Party. Okay, so those are the colors that I used. I did the same colors here, but I think I added just a little bit to make I'm going to call her Robin, her breast a little bit deeper color, so I used a little bit of the light Calypso Coral. So it's pretty simple on the base just to get the bottom part, so let's just get that together. And I am going to adhere the 2 strips of designer series paper about a 1/2 inch from the top and about 1/2 inch from the bottom. And I'm just going to use a Stampin' Seal like product, and that's going to be just flat to the card front. So let's get that started. I'm going to grab my scissors here, open the card, and trim these 2 sides off. There we go. Okay. so we've got that started. And now our job will be to create the stamped images. We're going to stamp, die cut, and then color 2 leafy vines, 1 flower garland if you haven't already, a bow, and a bird. Okay, so I am going to use my stamp positioner, whichever brand you'd like. You could, the Stampin' Up offers the Stamparatus, which is a very cool sort of a multi-plate tool. This is just a simple, small version of a stamp positioner. So this is some Whisper White cardstock from my stash. I am going to start by, I need 2 of the vines. So I'm going to grab the leafy vines from the stamp set. And let's see, I think I'll lay it here at the bottom. Oops. And I'm going to use, just shut the door, grab that up. And then we're just going to use the simple Memento Tuxedo Black ink to ink the these up. So we're going to do a vine. All right. Well, that looks really good. And then I'm simply going to turn this around and create, stamp another vine because I need 2 of them. Ink it up in Tuxedo Black. And stamp again. Okay. Get my little, my ratty old chamois together, but I love it. It's so simple to clean up your stamps. There you go. So I have 2 leafy vines. That is done. I'm going to remove this stamp now. I'm done with it. And now I need, like I said, I have a floral garland there. So I need a bow and I need a bird. This one right here. And I'm going to also grab the bow from the Curvy Christmas set. Okay. I just love these sets. I think they're so cool and so versatile. Okay, I'm going to put my bow here in the center and my bird as well. There we go. Close the door to pick them up. There we go. And again with the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Are any of you collecting Stampin' Blend markers, the alcohol-based markers from Stampin' Up? I have been over the last few months since I became a demonstrator, and I'll say that the only purple I had was the Purple Posy, this light purple. So that's what I'm going to use, and I just have to say, I'm very pleasantly surprised with the quality of these Stampin' Blend markers. I'm an avid Copic alcohol-based marker fan, but I gave the Stampin' Blend markers a try, and I really do like them. And because I really enjoy Stampin' Up's coordination, color coordination of their products, I think it's really, really nice to be able to just select a Stampin' Blend marker that is the exact color. I don't have to guess or be disappointed that it's not quite the purple or not quite the red that I was looking for. So that's been pretty fun, and they come in a color combo, so you don't have to collect 400 plus Copic like you do your Copic markers. It's simply a combo pack of the colors, most of the Stampin' Up colors. So that's how I've been collecting them along the way. All right, so I'm going to grab the light Just Jade, the light Pool Party for the leaves, Purple Posy for a combo set for the bow, and then the Pool Party again, and a little bit of Calypso Coral and Petal Pink. I'll be right back. I think I'm going to try a little bit of Pool Party, and I'm going to put a touch of Balmy Blue in the birdie's wings, and here's the Petal Pink and a little bit of the Calypso Coral for her breast there. So let's work on, let's color the little bird first. So I'm going to give her body a base of the light Petal Pink. So just kind of color her whole body there. I'm going to then come back. Again, I'm just using the little fine tip end. I'm going to give her a little bit of Calypso Coral and then come back with my light Petal Pink and just blend that all in. Maybe a teeny bit more. Little bit of, there we go. All right, then I'm going to try a little bit of Pool Party, light Pool Party. Again, when it gets really narrow, I just tap. I don't try to, color that way. And then a little bit of the, the Balmy Blue will be a little deeper blue than the Pool Party. So I'm just going to come in and give it a little there. I'm going to let this dry a little bit because I see I'm having some bleeding. But once it dries, I'm going to do a little erasing with our color lifter. So I'm going to wait till this one's a little dry. And I can move on and start coloring the leaves. The light Just Jade. That's why I thought it was a bit light. Okay, so I'm going to take this light Just Jade, and I'm just kind of like go over the veins of the leaves. And you don't have to be perfect about it, just, a little bit there. I'm going to come back. The bigger leaves, I'm gonna use the brush end of my light Pool Party, and just now this, I love this tip, but what happens is that a lot more ink comes out of it than when we use the fine tip. So I want to be able to control the amount of ink, but it's really nice for blending. I have to say, it's really nice for blending. So what I try to do is actually I don't go all the way up to the line when I'm coloring, because I know that the alcohol markers tend to bleed, so I'm going to let it bleed to the very edge. So hopefully that's a good tip for you. So I don't go ahead, I just let it kind of move itself to the edge. Now I want to, I think I'm gonna do a little bit with the fine tip end to, let me just, again, I'm just gonna dot. Hopefully my head doesn't stick in the way. Just give a little bit of dot onto the stem of the vine here. And I don't even really touch the paper very much at all. Okay, I think that covers it. Now, if you felt like that was just a little bit too light, what I did here was I kind of went back again. I let it kind of dry, And then I go back in and just kind of put a little bit extra. And just like I did, I'm going to come back and go over it again with the pool party brush. Okay? So I'm going to go back and do this. What I'll do is I will go back and do that. I'm going to give the bow sort of an undercoat of all light, the light purple posy, and then I'll go back in and do some shading, which I don't even have to think hard about because the artist already gave me the shading areas, or the areas that will be shaded, which means they'll be darker. So right now I'm just laying down a base of the light. And then I'll come back in. With the dark purple posy. And then go back in again for a second time and blend it out with the light again. Okay, so here's my dark purple posy. I'm going to go in and I'm going to color the shadows of this bow here. And I also kind of think that there should be some shadow here where the bow kind of hangs over. And then maybe even just a little bit right here. Okay, so here is the light again, the light purple posy. And then you can just kind of add it in. And then I flick. And then it looks dark right now, but just let it sit. And you'll see that the alcohol ink tends to evaporate a little bit, and that'll look really nice. So we finished both of the leafy vines, and I'm going to go back and see if I can kind of just push away this a little bit of ink here that bled out from the bird. So I'm using the Stampin' Blends color lifter. It has, again, a brush tip or a fine point as well. So I'm going to use the fine tip. And what I do is I'm going to start out here, and as the ink flows out, it's going to push it that way. I know it's called a color lifter. To me, I think it's a little bit more color pusher. So I'm going to put it out here and see if I can't kind of push that ink back into the bird. And again, it's wet now, so let's let it dry. And you see there's nothing, I don't know if you can see, but there's really no ink or anything on the tip. It's kind of it's like a little magic pen. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go die cut. And by the way, the leafy vine is this long kind of cutout piece. The bow will need to be fussy cut, and then this bird, I believe, is right there. So everything except the bow has a die, and then this little bow will be really, really pretty easy to fussy cut. Okay, we're back. I have all of our pieces cut out, and we will go ahead and pop them up onto this card front. But before we do, I want to go ahead and stamp the sentiment into the center here of our card front using the Highland Heather ink. So let me move these out of our way. I'm going to use my stamp positioner, and in doing so, it's kind of wonky, so if you want to use a block, that's fine. I'm going to use my stamp positioner. So I'm putting the card front in, so normally it would open here from the bottom. I'm going to turn it around, so here's the bottom, and I'm going to put it in my stamp positioner like this. The sentiment is wishing you the happiest of birthdays. It's from the Quite Curvy stamp set. So let me get that out in the center. And the trick of the eye is that the stamp already has a bit of a curve to it. And we will then place our vines to mimic the curve of the words. Okay, so I'm just basically my job now is just to center the sentiment into our space here. I don't want it to go too far down or up because the vines are going to sort of hang over. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to shut the door, grab the sentiment, and then I'm going to ink it up with Highland Heather. So this is the ink. And just because I'm a little fussy, go ahead and clean that off. And then simply close the door. There we go, press it down. Another application of ink. I want to sort of, that's the beauty of a stamp positioner, folks. It goes right back on top of the image exactly as you had it before. So, close the door. I'm giving it a little bit more pressure because the card is actually hanging out over the positioner. It's perfectly fine, no? There you go. That's a nice dark impression there. I like that. Now we're ready to go ahead and pop up the foliage. So you can see how this is curved down, and I want it to mimic this curve, so it needs to curve up. This needs to curve up. So I'm just going to flip that around, and I'll place it there. And by the same token, that's how this one is, but I want it to go the opposite way now, and you'll see it just sort of gives it a more enveloped look, right? So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to use foam tape because it'll be quicker, but that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop this up. Yeah, I'll use foam tape real quick. There we go. So just like the past card where I showed you how I simply cut this piece in half, I just took the 1/2 flower from the bottom, trimmed right around that, and then up and around the leaf. So that's one side. And then on this piece where I cut away, I'm just going to kind of fussy cut around there, make it a little less cut off looking. Just kind of follow the leaves and kind of give the cut a little bit more curve. Okay. And here's the other piece. So we're going to, what I want to do is just go ahead and lay these two floral pieces down on top of the vine with a little bit of wet glue. So I'm going to hold off on my bow there on the back. Just a little. And I'm going to apply this. So if we put the bow here in the center, I kind of want to I want it to look like it is coming out from the bow a little. So we have, with the glue, we have a little time to move it around still. There we go. And then here on this side is the other one. Just turn it over. A little bit of glue. There we go. There we go. Now I can go ahead and place my ribbon right there in the center. There we go. That looks beautiful. Our final touch will be to put our little bluebird of happiness, say, right about there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom of the body and the feet, just a little. And just put it's about half a dimensional worth. So put that down right there, so it's hidden. But this will give her a little stability when her feet are glued to the branch right here. There we go. She also has a little bit, still pops up. There we go. All right. So there is our birthday card using the Quite Curvy Variety Bundle, wishing you the happiest of birthdays in a pretty, almost spring-like color palette. So just, another way to recognize that this bundle is perfect all year round.